Yesterday, 91 seats went to the polls, and right across the country, India witnessed an unprecedentedly high turnout. If it was at 65% in Delhi, it was 73% in Haryana, 74% in Chandigarh, and possibly 76% in Kerala. So what do these percentages say about the voting? Do they suggest a Modi wave, or is that a misrepresentation? My guests are the political editor of Outlook, Sabha Naqvi, the well-known senior journalist and columnist Siddharth Bhatia, BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra, and Congress spokesperson Salman Soz. Salman Soz, let's start with the incredible turnout on Thursday. 65% in Delhi, 67% in Muzaffarnagar, 73% in Haryana, 74% in Chandigarh, and perhaps 76% in Kerala. These are all areas where Congress did exceptionally well in 2009. This time, are people voting to throw you out, as all the columnists seem to suggest?
I think this time people are making their voices heard. I think it's a great thing for our democracy that so many people are voting. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and frankly, it's very, very good. The reports that we are getting is that we're going to be doing far better than you expect.
All right. Keep your fingers crossed. There's no hope, no reason why you should be dismayed if you don't want to believe the critics. But Siddharth Bhatia, let me put that optimism to you. Of the 91 seats that went to the polls yesterday, Congress in 2009 had 146. Regardless of how you interpret the massive turnout, do you believe it can win as many as it did last time? Siddharth Bhatia, can you hear me?
In fact, let me give you a very tiny picture here. Vidarbha, for example, which is 10 seats. Can you hear me now?
I can, yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely. Please keep speaking.
Yeah, so let me give you a tiny, we can't extrapolate, but yeah, so we can't extrapolate, but I'll give you a small snapshot of Vidarbha, for example, which is a very important part of Maharashtra. The Congress was 5 and the BJP was 5, and the Congress now here in Maharashtra is saying we possibly are going to slip because everything has become a 3 or 4-way fight. So this is as far as Maharashtra is concerned, and even in other places like Kerala and all that kind of thing, and even Haryana, large numbers have not necessarily shown, have always shown that there is some kind of a wave or some kind of emphasis towards the challenger. Now who the challenger is, I don't know, because there is AAP involved here in the north, there is the left involved. So I think incumbent would be should be a little more careful when there is a high turnout, because they possibly the voters are making some kind of statement. This is my gut sense. But so, we can't really say at this moment what's happening. It's all in the ballot boxes.
Absolutely.
But I think the incumbent ought to be worried a little more.
In other words, what you're also saying is that of the 46 seats they won out of the 91 that were voted for yesterday, it's unlikely they will retain all of them, and Mr. Soz's confidence is probably misplaced. A quick confirmation.
A bit risky, yes. I would think that the incumbent ought to be that much more worried. But again, who will gain from this, whether it's a zero-sum game, I'm not so sure, because it's different things at different places, different parties. And I would bring in parties like AAP also in the north. You've got to consider them.
Absolutely.
Even in Vidarbha, you've got to consider them.
Sabha Naqvi, I want to pick up on that thought about how a large turnout is always good news for the challenger, bad news for the incumbent. Compared to 2009, the turnout in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh has gone up by 14%. In Chandigarh, it's gone up by 10%. In Maharashtra, it's gone up by 7%. Do you think that suggests a Modi wave, or is that a premature judgment?
Karan, I'm very uncomfortable with the word wave, but this election is increasingly becoming about some people coming out to vote for Modi and others coming out to vote against him. In Delhi, it's due to two exciting new prospects. Congress is out of it pretty much. It's in number 3 position. It's been the BJP on one hand and the AAP on the other hand. In Delhi, I think it's going to be divided on the basis of class. Middle class is going to go for the BJP. the underclass, the slums, the minorities have shifted in large numbers to AAP. In Uttar Pradesh, I'm not going to use the word wave, but I believe, and my information is, there is a Hindu consolidation in the first phase, which could extend to the second phase and move on, so on. These are very closely contested elections in Uttar Pradesh, and having covered the states for some time, I think trends will become clear in a while. So I will specifically talk to you about Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, where yes, I don't like the word wave, but there is a certain consolidation in UP for Narendra Modi. I believe that is happening. In Delhi also a lot of people are excited by him. And certainly the Congress, this is historically a vote against the Congress.
Okay.
And we have to accept that, you know.
Samit Patra, let me put an alternate point to you, quite the opposite of what I put to Sabha Naqvi a moment ago. There is a view that the massive turnout that we saw yesterday, that we've seen earlier in Assam, that we've seen in fact in Mizoram, is in fact not a reflection of either a Modi wave or even a Modi consolidation, but simply a reflection or a consequence of the cleaning up of the rolls which the Election Commission has assiduously done. As a result, the voting percentages have gone up markedly. Not a Modi wave, but a reflection of a cleaner, clearer set of rolls.
However cleaner and the cleansing process the Election Commission could have done, kudos to them, but I believe it is the conscience of the people and it is the people's awareness at the end of the day who have to come out and vote. But I would open my statement by saying that the election 2014 is not an election. It is a revolt against the Congress. And that is the reason as to why we are having this unprecedented turnout
you could be right.
for the people.
You could be absolutely right in your language that it's a revolt against the Congress. But the question I'm asking is who's gaining from the revolt? And clearly, the assumption that there's a Modi wave has been questioned by Sabha Naqvi. It's also been questioned by the analysis I gave you that the electoral rolls being cleaned up make the turnout look larger than it actually is. It may not have actually in absolute numbers gone up much. So therefore, the key question is, should you be smiling?
No, I should be smiling because of the reason that I'll give you a very apt answer, in the sense that if you're pointing towards what Sabha Naqvi said in her answer, she said that there was a Hindu consolidation of sort in order to bolster the Modi wave. Over here, look, the whole world out there, apart from the Bharatiya Janata Party, has been trying its best to consolidate the Muslims to vote for them. But ironically, what Sabha is saying is there's a Hindu consolidation. That itself points to the fact that people are standing for Modi, and that's what is a wave.
All right. Salman Soz, let me put...
no.
Go ahead.
I don't know what Sambit is saying.
No, I'm saying, let me put it in words, Sabha, for you. You saying that there was a Hindu consolidation in Uttar Pradesh for the Modi wave. But what I'm trying to suggest is, look, the Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the BSP are trying its best to polarize it as far as the appeasement policy with the minorities are concerned. But look, what is happening is it is falling apart. The polarization effort by the Congress and its allies are falling apart. That is what is called as a wave.
Very quickly, Sabha.
Okay, Karan, I want to say something here particular to UP and the Hindi belt. There is this talk about Narendra Modi running a governance development model. Yes, that is true in many urban centers all across India. People are turning up to see him. But please recognize that Modi is popular with many Indians because of the 2002 riots, not in spite of it.
All right, but
are you questioning the
forgive me, Sambit Patra, no, I'm stopping you. Sambit Patra, I will not have my show or this episode hijacked with a discussion that is irrelevant to the subject. So hold your peace.
Do you suggest that India is not secular?
Sambit, stop it. We are not getting into that. This is not about 2002. This is about how we interpret the outcome of the turnout yesterday. Let's stick to the subject. I'm not going to permit a discussion between the two of you that derails us. I want to come back once again, Salman Soz, to the key issue that we wish to discuss. And if you look at the turnout in Delhi and you observe it side by side with the comments that the analysts are making, there's really no need for any confidence on your part. Because if the turnout in each of those 7 constituencies was above 60%, it's hitting 66 and 67% in Chandni Chowk in the northeast. Now, we don't know whether the voters are going for the BJP or AAP, but the one thought that seems to be common to almost every analyst is they're not going for Congress. How is it that you're so confident you've got the vote when every analyst and every commentator thinks you haven't? Are they all wrong and are you just the only one who's right?
I will take just the example of Delhi. You know, I mean, if you compare the voting patterns of the December elections with the current voting patterns, you won't see the difference between 2000. See, if you compare it to 2009, yes, there's a big jump. When you compare it to December, the jump is not as much. And what has happened during these last few months is that people of Delhi have seen that when the Congress is not there, there is instability. Because the Aam Aadmi Party left
can I interrupt?
49 days.
Can I interrupt?
So that, and now you
Mr. Soos, let me interrupt. You're absolutely right in saying that the turnout yesterday was the same as the turnout in December. It's no larger in any significant way. But how do you know people aren't voting the same way they did in December? That's the catch.
Let me get to that. Yes, let me get to that. The reason is because there's a lot of disenchantment out here with what the Aam Aadmi did, how they governed or actually did not govern. And I think people actually realized that they had buyer's remorse. And they realized that what they had for 3 terms wasn't that bad after all.
All right.
I think you will see in December, nobody was giving us any chance. And you will see in this election, when May 16th comes, you will see the Congress party bouncing back.
Let's see whether Siddharth Bhatia actually shares that view. Let me see if Siddharth Bhatia shares that view. The point being made is that people have got so disillusioned with Aam Aadmi that they're going to give Congress another chance. Do you really believe 4 months later such a sea change could have happened in the way the Delhi voter thinks? Or do you believe that the fact that the turnout large suggests that they are probably voting for AAP rather than for anyone else? Siddharth Bhatia?
Well, the past experience showed that AAP's vote got consolidated towards the end of the polling. Can you hear me now?
I can, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely. Please go ahead. It's a bad line,
Hello?
but we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please talk. It's a time delay, but we can hear you. Please talk.
So the experience we saw in December. So in December we saw that towards the end of the voting day, by all accounts, the AAP votes got consolidated. And I don't think what may have happened is that AAP may have lost some sections of its support, maybe by the middle classes, but it's probably gained equal amount of support, or at least kept the support of the lower middle classes and its constituent base. So I seriously doubt whether my problem with Delhi is that they were fighting in small constituencies where it was very easy to manage those constituencies. Now you're looking at populations of 16 to 18 lakhs. So whether they can pull that off at that level, now that remains to be seen, because there are constituencies in which the BJP won and AAP won. So I'm not so sure that AAP will be a net beneficiary. The BJP will definitely be a beneficiary. The Congress is probably going to do very badly in Delhi. But in other places that may not be the case. So it's not, as I say, a zero-sum game. We've been talking about UP and Haryana and Delhi. But in other places, it could well go in favor of the Congress.
Sawan Naqvi, let me, I take your point, Sahabat. Sawan Naqvi, the Indian Express today has an article which suggests that in all the 7 seats of Delhi, there was exceptionally high voting by the Muslim community. Now, clearly, they weren't voting for the BJP. And given the disillusionment in the city, which continues as far as Congress is concerned, it's unlikely that many of them would have voted Congress. Do you think, in fact, therefore, that this high Muslim turnout is an indication of support for AAP? And secondly, will AAP, therefore, once again, successfully halt the BJP bandwagon in Delhi as it did in December?
I don't know whether demographically in a Lok Sabha they can translate that. But I can explain a little bit about how Muslims have been feeling about, being held hostage by the traditional parties, SP, Congress, that BJP is coming, so you have to vote for us. That's how this politics has been playing out for a while. And Muslims also want to have an option of new parties, of new forces. They also want to get an opportunity to vote for things which are new and exciting, and not to be caught up in this trap of fear. So yes, I believe there would have been some old-timers who would have perhaps gone for the Congress, but a lot of young people would have definitely chosen AAP,
Okay.
In AAP's own strategy, getting the minority vote has become extremely critical, because as the sort of Congress collapses, in a future perhaps led with the BJP as the single largest party, they see themselves not numerically as being the opposition, but in a certain sense in terms of policy and in having the gumption to go for Mr. Modi. They see themselves in that role. So they are going out for the Muslim vote.
Samit Patra, let me put this to you.
Not only in Delhi, you know.
Okay, Samit Patra, let me put this to you. Undoubtedly, the BJP within their private offices has done an early assessment of the turnout that we've seen, and in particular the turnout yesterday. Share with us, what is the indication you get from your own assessment of what is happening?
To be very frank, in fact, what my friend from Congress was saying, Salman Soz, that, well, there's not much of difference between the arithmetic that took place 4 months ago in Delhi assembly elections and now what we are voting.
The critical question is, how are those people voting?
No, critically, look, the people in fact have realized that the romance with Aam Aadmi Party is over. But as far as
don't give me an analysis. Share your internal assessment.
Wait just a second. But the most important issue over here is, I mean, the Congress got just mere 8 seats. No. That does not sum up arithmetically just for a single Lok Sabha seat.
I'm not asking you to be an analyst. I'm asking you to share with me the internal assessment your party has undoubtedly done.
Our party has 7-0 assessment as far as the BJP in Delhi is concerned. We are going to have 7 benefits, and the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party is going to be left with a big zero.
That is genuinely what you feel this morning after yesterday's vote.
That is going to happen. That is not what I feel genuine. That's what we are going to see on 16th.
Salman, so just stop a moment. Give someone else a chance. Please,
I never got my chance.
Salman, so
I've been listening to others.
You've heard the BJP say that their internal assessment after yesterday suggests 7-0 in their favor. They are at least confident enough to say it publicly. What do you believe genuinely will be the outcome for Congress in Delhi?
I'll be very honest with you. And I can give you state-wise some of our...
No, just stick to Delhi. We haven't got time for state-wise. Just tell me Delhi, the 7 seats.
Delhi. You know, yesterday, I run into a young guy out here who's a voter, and I said, you know, who was going to be an Aam Aadmi supporter, but I kind of cornered him into voting for the Congress. And then he said, I said, how are things? He said, you know what? Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are really fighting it out in the New Delhi constituency, but the BJP is on TV. There's a lot of BJP on TV.
So that's not even a pretense at an answer to my question. I asked you a specific question. Give me a specific answer. Of the 7 seats, the BJP is confident enough to say they'll get all 7. How many will you get?
I'm going to just tell you this. We're going to massively outperform the opinion polls. Okay?
Just a moment. Answer my question. Massively outperform the opinion polls is deflecting it. Out of 7, how many will you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or all 7? Pick any number from 1 to 7.
But 0 has not been given as an option.
I will be very honest with you. You know, it's not.
You're not being honest at all. You're not answering.
7. They're going to get all 543. They're going to get all 543 seats, by the way.
All right, that's not being honest. That's being ridiculous.
Karan, I have a point over here. I want to make a point.
Just a moment. I'm running out of time. I'm going to go very quickly to Sabha Naqvi. We seem to have a time problem and a delay problem with Siddharth Bhatia. But Sabha Naqvi, quickly, as someone sitting in Delhi, how many seats will Congress get? How many BJP? Just give me straight figures.
Are you talking about the New Delhi 7 seats?
That's right.
You know, Karan, I would say 4 to the BJP, 3 to Aam Aadmi Party, none to the Congress. But you know, I'm risking it.
All right. Of course you're risking it. I'm going to stop you there. I know you're risking it. I'm glad you stuck your neck out, but that's an interesting answer. Do you accept 4?
No. I accept nothing less than 7, but I have an important point over here.
I don't have time for all of that.
We came for arithmetics only.
7. Very quickly, Salman Soz. 0 is what you get from Sabha Naqvi. 0.
You know, I'll tell you this. Sabha and I will meet on May 16th, and Sambit as well. Sambit will have 8 seats out of 7 in Delhi.
But Karan, all of them have time. Why don't you have time for me?
We've run out of time at that point. The message that's coming out crystal clear is that the BJP is confident enough to claim 7. Congress isn't confident enough to claim anything. They want to tell anecdotes instead. And maybe that's really what the message has come out from the polls, that Congress has been left somewhat concerned, their confidence looks dented, and the BJP is certainly patting itself on the back. They think they've done well. Of course, we'll find out finally on the 16th of May, and it's very possible that both of them are wrong. At the end of the day, the Indian voter has often surprised everyone, and there may well be a surprise in the making when the results are announced. But for today, we're left with that tantalizing thought. The voter has spoken. He's spoken loudly, he's spoken in large numbers, but what did he say? We have to wait till we find out, but it's a lot of fun speculating. And remember, this was only speculation. Goodbye, good night.